admit.
No, I told my children religion is their choice. They choose what they want.
Mm-hmm.
Which I am. I'm not sure that that's the right way because,
Mm-hmm.
okay, you tell your children to brush their teeth, right? You don't say to your kids, brush your teeth if you want when you want, right? Brushing your teeth is important, right?
Yeah, of course.
Like you tell your kids, have a shower or have a bath or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
These things are important. And just as you have clean teeth or a clean body, you need also to have a clean spirit as well. And having a clean spirit requires working on your spirit,
Mm-hmm.
working on the spiritual element. And so, in many ways, I'm starting to think that telling my children, well, you can decide yourself when you're older, is a bit like saying, well, you can have a bath when you're 18, or you can brush your teeth when you're 18 or something. Um, it seems to me that maybe that's not the right way to approach the problem. And at the same time, it's not right to force a religion on your children as well. That's also
Mm-hmm.
not right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not right to say you have to read this, you have to study this, you have to go to church, you have to believe this. I think that's also wrong
Mm-hmm.
as an approach. Um, so my perspective is this is my belief and this is what I do. If you want to join me, I'm happy.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't want to join me, then that's also okay
Mm-hmm.
because the door is always open and uh, not everything, not everybody understands the same thing in the same way at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
and there will be people. The people need to be free to come and go as and when they need it. Um, so you lead by example, right? And you open the door to other people to follow if they want to follow
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
example. And I think that is the right approach to things. My children see me pray. They know that I pray. They know that I am orientated towards Christianity, and that that is my that is my position at this moment in time. Um, but more and more, I think that clean spirit is more and more important in a dirty world, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where
Sorry.
where there's a lot of negative influences and a lot of bad ideas, and you have to balance it out in some way. And you don't know. I think that comes back to the fact that you don't know what people are going to connect with and when and at what point in time. Like I went to religious school when I was like from 8 years old to 10 years old. I went to a religious Sunday school, but it didn't it didn't interest me at the time, which I think it's sort of not my fault. I think it's the job of the teacher to make the subject interesting. It's not the job of the student to make the subject interesting. It's the
Mm-hmm.
job of the
Mm-hmm.
teacher to do that. So I think the teacher didn't do that very well for me. Um, And I think that you connect with people through real activities. Like
Mm,
for me, studying about God or religion is it's not sitting around a table. It's in a forest, you know.
mhm,
It's
mhm.
something
Yeah.
something else.
Mhm,
It's not study in the traditional sense. It's learning and understanding in a different way. And it's also being prepared. People are always looking for advice, right? They're always looking for direction. And the Bible is full of good advice and good direction. And
mm,
so to read and to know these things is preparation for the problem.
mhm,
Like when there is a problem, why does this problem exist? Well, and what do I do? Well, the Bible suggests that this problem exists for this reason and that you should do this. And that by doing this, you will have a pathway forward, which is far better than saying, I don't know, or do what you want, or just try something. To give somebody some definite guidance is useful and matters. It's not a perfect roadmap, but it's a very good roadmap, and there are no new problems
mhm.
in the world. Like every single problem that we have, somebody else has had before and has had to work with that and live with that and solve that problem. So I don't I don't think we know what the important things that we're going to teach are and what effect they're going to have. So you can say something to somebody today and maybe they remember it in 10 years and they go, oh, okay.
Mhm,
You know,
mhm,
you just don't know, right? You can give someone the answer, but maybe they're not ready for it. A lot of us are not ready for it. A lot of us
mhm,
are not ready to hear the things that we need to hear. It's it's a lesson in life, and so um, set a good example. Yeah, and I think it's better to be grounded in something rather than nothing. Because if there's nothing there, you sort of get pushed and pulled,
mhm,
and
mhm,
you can say, well, I like a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of that, and that's like, well, then you sort of you take what you need when you need it, but
mhm,
you never really get the bigger picture of anything,
mhm,
right? Because everything good requires commitment. You have to commit yourself. You have to give yourself 100% to something
mhm,
if you want it to be good. Yeah, if you want to win the game, you got to give yourself 100% to the game. And if you want to have the spirituality or religion in your life, whatever it is, you have to give yourself to it 100%. You can't give yourself to it 50%. You know, it's just it's not going to work. Like a like human relationships, yeah. You know, if you marry somebody, you don't give them 50%, right? You give them 120%, right? Um,
mhm.
or you should,
Mm,
yeah. It's not a marriage is not 50-50. It's 120, 120, okay? Because 240 is better than 100, okay? So
mm,
it's and the more you put in, the more you get out. So um, so you have to commit yourself to whatever it is that you want to do. And if you're not fully committed, then that's when you get hurt. When you're not fully committed, that's when you get hurt because you're not sure and you wait or you hesitate or you don't know what to do. You're not prepared. And that's a problem for a lot of people in life, that the battle is won and lost in the preparation. That's a biblical principle. And it goes back goes back thousands of years before the Bible as well. Sun Tzu's The Art of War talks about it as well. Yeah, that everything is won and lost in the preparation. People don't read the Bible because, number one, they're distracted. There's too many other things. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. Oh, it's shiny. Oh, what's this? It sparkles. Oh, something loud over here. Or these are distractions or distortions, which are you hear bad things, so you don't look at it because you don't want to connect yourself to that bad thing. Yeah. So you hear bad things about Christianity, or bad things about churches, or bad things about preachers and teachers, or contradictions which exist in the Bible. Yes, there are hundreds of contradictions in the Bible because it was written by 66 different people. Oh, it wasn't. There's 66 different books. Okay, so you're going to have 66 different perspectives on things, really. So you're going to find these contradictions, especially with the different writers. And then you realize that the books were written at different times for different audiences. And the fact that books have survived thousands of years is a complete miracle itself. Like nothing else has survived, right? So the distractions and distortions keep us away from understanding. But I guarantee you this, if you find something in culture that you like, it will be connected in some way to Christian religious history. In the West, in Western culture, in European culture. Yeah. If you find something you like, whether it's in music or in art or in a piece of literature or in a piece of theater or something else, there will be some religious connection there. And that will be why it's great. Because all great works of art reference the Bible in some way, in one way or another. It's a very interesting revelation, but it is a revelation that all great art flows almost out of the mouth of God. All of it, without exception, all of it. And once you see that and realize that and understand that, it's like, wow. It's like it all has one source. That if we didn't have the Bible, then we wouldn't have all this great art and great music and great literature. We wouldn't have it. There would just be some void of horrible darkness and despair if it wasn't there. And you see that, and that's what manifests in people's life. People go into darkness and despair because they don't have anything to hold on to. They don't have any good examples to hold on to for anything at all. And these things matter, right? You've got to whatever the good thing is, you have to embrace it, and then realize that the good things are biblical, all of them. Whether it's crazy, whether it's a car or a computer or whatever, right? If there's something good that comes out of it, it has a relationship to an understanding of humanity from a Christian perspective. Maybe that will change in the future. Maybe things will evolve and develop. Maybe it will become less important. I don't know, but right now it's still very much the case. I always find songs that I like, when I go back to the song that I like, I always find something. There's something in it. I'm like, this is a line from the Bible. Seriously, in the last week, with two or three songs that I thought about, I was thinking about the songs, and I was thinking about something I read, and I was like, okay. And I never made the connection before because I hadn't read the Bible. And then going back and reading the Bible, and then realizing that this great piece of art and music would not exist without that reference or connection there. So it is really important for people um, to to read it and understand it, and to know that it will take years to understand. You know, you're talking 20, 30 years to understand it because it's difficult. It's difficult. It's difficult. Like I've read it 3 times now, and I'm on my fourth reading right now, and I'm like, and and every time it's really building. Every time I read it, I learn something more, or I understand something different. I'm like, okay, now I understand that better, and it's uh, it's very powerful, very powerful.